mean, it's not like it's the thing that we've been doing since the very beginning. um, but last time with the Whims of Fate, uh, Tong, in effort to de-stress, um, decided to land ahead of the party to rant to her familiar, but was rudely interrupted by a giant toad, who ended up swallowing her. She was able to escape because she just barely had enough magic to uh, thunder step out of it and get the attention of the rest of the party, who arrived in uh, not necessarily a timely manner, but eventually. Not by any fault of their own, just the sheer distance. Um, and as the Erden was trying to get the toad to just go away, the toad ended up munching on the centaur. And as a last-ditch effort, Erden commanded the toad to spew. On its turn, it regurgitated its stomach contents.
Which did include product, but it also included everything else.
Idea managed to avoid the stomach contents, but Tong did not and got toothed. When the toad tried to run away, those still standing got their opportunity attacks and killed the beast. While Tong and Ra were being cleaned, Idea decided to claim her prize. That being the sapphire eyes of the giant toad, which also happened to make the party immensely rich, beyond our wildest dreams.
Filthy, filthy rich.
Do they know it yet? Probably not.
And at the very end of the day, Tong ritualistically casted Lehman's tiny hut, and the party settled down for a night's rest. And then some things happened in between sessions, but that doesn't matter.
But that doesn't matter. Famous last words.
Uh-huh.
Nah, it was all mentioned in our thoughts on the past day.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. So, we are currently resting in our tiny hut. Was there anything you all wanted to do before you decided to sleep?
I think we were setting up watches for Rada being last, and I don't know, does Brina want to take the first or second one?
We were going to get far enough away from the frog first.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
I was wrong.
Tong moved far enough away from the frog before she set up tiny hut. The frog is also dead, but
we're more worried about scavengers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take first watch.
Cool. So, Brina first, Ern second.
So, Brina's first.
Mm-hmm.
Then Erden.
I don't know, is on third.
Who's on third?
No, who's on first?
What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
Because basically to get the 8 hours, you need 4. Basically 2 hours for everyone.
2 if you take one of the
5.
shifts.
Sorry, 5 watches.
Yes.
Tooth will take 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that leaves 4th because Rada's taking the last one.
Somebody will probably have to wake her up if they want her to do it.
Idea,
say-
thank you for volunteering.
It'll be Tong or Idea, so.
I have a feeling Tong is not part of this conversation.
No.
I have a feeling that all of us kind of like, as we were setting up the waters, like we looked at Tong, it's like, okay, no, she's not an option. So, Idea, are you okay with fourth watch, or would you like a different watch? Because I know
The introvert
Tong.
is having a meltdown.
Adea's probably going to do the same thing. She's probably going to start doing the things that he was like. She's probably going to pull out all her tools and get ready to start working, and then like fall asleep over them before you get started.
And then you're gonna need the.
Yeah, no. Like, after calling the people having a secret conversation in Rod,
You're wandering
Tong
in.
just knocked herself out.
So
Not
I'm
literally,
guessing
but-
somebody was like, Adea, you have to take a watch. Who's waking me up? Or am I taking the first watch? I bet I could take the first watch.
Considering that you're about to sleep on your feet, go ahead and
Or the
sleep.
last one?
Rod is taking the last one, but, like,
Yeah.
we'll let you get some sleep in. And
Adea probably seems really energetic, but
Actually, get over here. Her name
as
is
soon as
Sin.
she stops, she's probably going to have a lot less energy than she normally would have.
Yeah,
She's
like-
normally up into, way too late.
I like that he has a friend.
So the normal falling asleep at a normal time is a testament to her sleepiness. Yeah, how exhausted she is.
Sleep. All right. I said Erden has already fallen asleep. Um, So, Brina,
Hello.
you're on watch. What are you doing while you're on watch?
Contemplating my existence. Just trying to think. Like, making sure that I have my Tayaha ready and things like that. Trying to just be ready to attack something, or mostly contemplating, like, I might try. I don't know. Because I'm not going to play my music because that's going to wake other people up. But just trying to not fall asleep and trying to not overanalyze the day that I've had, which is probably not going to be very successful.
Don't sleep overanalyzing that. That'll help you stay awake from sheer terror.
Yeah,
Alright, I know that's very vague, but that's basically my thought process right now.
Yeah, this is a question. It's still like daytime, right?
Oh yeah, because we're in
Funny-
that world.
So as Brina, I was getting to that actually. So as Brina is having these contemplations and thinking she's, getting on watch, partway through your watch, it suddenly switches to night.
Yay.
Well, Brina, you're in luck because Tong's animated spellbook admits 10 feet of dim light.
Well, I mean, I can see okay in the dark. Yeah. Yeah, I have dark vision. I'm okay, but that is helpful. So
Well, I was going to say, and for Brina, because she's from the other world, it's not as disconcerting as it can be for others. She's
Yeah.
used to the sudden changes.
It's like all
the
just
the
kind of
slow
look up like,
sunset is weird.
what was that?
The slow sunset is weird.
Mm-hmm. Pretty, but weird. But yeah, I'm just like I probably like look up for a second as the light changes. Like, okay,
Oh, it is night.
Just randomly occurred to me. Were all of those poems admiring the beauty of the sunset actually written by Faye?
probably because I haven't seen it before.
Probably.
You don't want to know how many poems Tong has written about that.
But other than it changing from day to night, nothing exciting happens on your watch, so you're able to go get Erden without any issue.
Yep. Erden, your turn. Nothing to report. Just it's nighttime now. Like actually, it's nighttime.
Oh joy.
Erden.
There's some
Keep
extra light
forgetting
getting
about
off by
that.
the hut, so it should help a little bit.
Not by the huts, but by the ghostly spellbook that came out of Tong's spellbook is still there, and it's emitting 10 feet of dim light.
Well, there's light coming from that. The book thingy that Tong was using, so there's a little bit more light for you.
Sounds good. You catch up on sleep.
Okay.
All right. What is Erden going to be doing while he's on watch?
Well, given that it's dim light, can't really do that much. Kind of sit around waiting and using his deck of cards, he plays a very poor hand of. He just keeps playing poor hands of solitaire because it's hard to tell the difference between the 6 and the 9s of like the clubs in dim light.
Wait, what is that? Damn it.
Has to pull out his sword just so that he can like
like hold the sword up, like
Well, so actually, it would be more likely that it's a 4 or 6 because the numbers that we use are Arabic. So
oh yeah, these would be Roman numeral numbers probably.
It would be
Oh, wait, no.
they're Roman numerals.
Oh, wait, is this your deck of cards that you got in Atlantis though?
Yes.
Okay.
So probably
So
actually.
they'd be Greek numerals, if anything.
Which doesn't make it any easier.
Your problem right now is going to be trying to tell the club spades and hearts apart.
Yeah.
It's not the numbers you're having issues with. It's
It's the
the
suit.
suit. You can't tell what suit you've got. And in the dim light, you have no color vision, so you're like, ah, great.
Sucks to be me.
Aside from your poor hands of solitaire, nothing exciting happens. Every now and then you'll hear like a twig snap, and you're like, who's there? Because you can't see, but then it's nothing, and you're like, now I'm paranoid.
It's probably like half paranoia, half. Oh, finally, something else happening. I can't do anything else.
At the
You
same
hear
time, though,
some
they're annoying
weird
with 8% because we were attacked by a diamond toad.
noise.
Which one? Someone got a call.
You hear something like that, and you're like, "The heck is that?"
Should I do better?
Okay. Weird forest noises. It's just weird forest noises. It's nothing until it's nothing until it falls out of the tree and actually hits you.
Oh, please don't say that. All it makes me think of is drop bears in Australia.
I was thinking tigers, but
See, all I was thinking about was apples, and suddenly Erden's going to discover gravity.
Okay, I like that too.
But yeah, other than that, nothing exciting happens on your watch, so you're able to go and get Tooth.
Tooth, it's your turn.
Huzzah!
So yeah, you get
It
outside.
sounds like everybody's gonna get robbed in the next 2 hours.
Tooth, what are you gonna do while you're on watch?
He's just kind of camp. We don't just make it
He's-
anything.
He's doing what already?
He's just
Oh,
sneaking
sneaking
around
around.
camp.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. One sec. You being quiet about your wandering.
Am I?
I'm wondering.
Am I? I don't know.
Do you care if people know you're there?
I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna be pretty quiet.
Okay, I need you to give me a stealth. So that's your d20 plus your stealth. And I know we didn't fill these all in, but basically anything that is proficiency, so you're straight on.
Good.
That's right. I was like,
And
I
it's
think
so
it's
Stealth
usually
is
relative.
going to be there.
Yep.
Yep. So 11.
That was a shot.
Oh, Tooth, what's your perception? It's high, right?
It's one higher than Rada's, I think.
Yeah. So Tooth, you're out sneaking around and you're doing your little Kronk thing, and you know. And you can hear what sounds like chainmail. Just chink, chink, chink. Like somebody walking around in chainmail. They're not being very quiet. And they don't sound all that far away either.
Hmm.
No use or employment.
He'll hide and see if he can see anything.
Okay, give me a hide check.
Whoa.
Okay, so then your passive perception is this thing down here. And it's 10 plus your wisdom modifier. So yours is 12. So basically that's what you see or hear without trying.
Okay.
What was your hide?
27.
You don't know he's there. That's fine.
I'm a sneaky
So-
bastard.
You managed to get yourself snuggled up into a bush without stabbing yourself again. And you see this person in not chain, in what looks like hide, but he's got so many things dangling off of him that he's making a chainmail-like sound. Do you want to describe your character? Just his physical appearance.
Broad of stature, but not super tall. Like really broad shoulders.
Stuffy.
Yeah. Kind of like 5'10", Kind of looks like
So medium height and
really,
stock.
yeah. Kind of looks like Tom Cruise if he would hit the gym. Actually, no, better analogy. He looks like Tom Cruise, but you Photoshop Henry Cavill's arms to him.
Now, do you have the typical long hair of the period, or have you sheared it short?
No, it sits about shoulder length.
Shoulder length? Any braids or anything in it?
One in the very back.
One braid in the back. He's got a couple of axes strapped to him. He's got a round field strapped to him. Are you painted right now?
No.
Okay. So he's pretty pasty. Looks Celtic. Tooth, I want you to give me a history check.
That would be an 18.
Looking at the type of armor he's wearing, the way he's got his hair done up, and just the way that he looks, you kind of bristle a bit. Because you're pretty sure that he's Caledonian. He is from the enemy country of Eri. And you can tell by the way he's wandering around as well. I'm gonna give that to you with your perception that you have. He looks lost. He doesn't seem to know where he is. And he definitely looks human, so you're like, I'm pretty sure he's not native at all.
Pretty sure he's not native.
Doesn't look anything like that arm that Erden and Brina were looking at, so it's like,
Okay. What you doing?
The roller coaster.
So this voice comes out of nowhere. You're human. It's dark all of a sudden. It is suddenly dark. You're not used to the sudden change. So it has been suddenly dark for a little while, and then this voice comes out of nowhere. How do you react?
Low battery.
Not quite.
You mean you don't have a low battery?
No, not yet.
There is
That's a
4.
weird response.
I would expect a cohort in our other campaigns, not a Caledonian wandering around the glass aisle.
Right.
So, asking for my reaction.
Yes.
Well, I think I'll immediately
battery.
go to the defensive, just kind of like pick up one of my axes, just kind of like wave it around, but you say it's a dark, right? So I can't really see all that well. So I'm kind of like, who's there? While internally I'm like,
Tooth?
Sorry, my brain's thinking.
Did you forget who you are?
No. I was just sleepy.
No, he's already put the pebbles in his shoes.
Hey, he's buffering. Give him time.
Buffer.
So just gonna walk out of the bush and just like tap you on the leg.
So you feel this tap at about 2 feet up, and you look down, and there's a very small person there. Give me just I guess a history check. Technically, it's a lore check, so it's an intelligence check.
okay.
You rolled that one.
Oh, he rolled the 2. And he has no intelligence, so it doesn't add anything to it.
So are you saying that Sean's a dumb blonde?
Yes. He's got a lot of wisdom, but he's got no intelligence. He is a smart dumb.
You're the smartest and dumb person you're the dumbest smart person I ever met.
You can't really get any. I mean, it's dark.
He's street smart, not book smart.
Beard.
He's a mechanic.
What?
You know what? I'm gonna grab on the beard to see if I can pull it off because I think it's fake because it's a small child.
I'm gonna bite you.
I mean, you need to roll an attack to see if you grab the beard.
These siblings.
You're done.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he grabs the beard because that was a nat 19. So
Damn.
you need to roll an attack too to try and bite him for grabbing your beard.
I mean, I also rolled a nat 19.
So you then realize that it's real, and he bites you and gets a good nick in your finger. Rana, I'm gonna say with your passive, you hear all of this going on. You have no idea what's happening, but you're pretty sure you just heard Tooth bite someone.
Even though she's asleep?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But that high passive perception, you're a light sleeper.
Good point.
She isn't called Mama Rada for nothing.
Good point.
Dreaming it, Rhoda, but then you kind of open your eyes a little bit and you realize, no, this is actually happening.
Because clearly Tooth is not in here.
No.
With
on-
with 300 feet of dark vision and a thing providing dim light, I see everything in the dome or in the hut as bright lights. Tooth's not there. We'll poke my head outside the hut.
I'd say probably about 5 feet from the hut. You see this man, this human man, with a leprechaun dangling from his finger by the mouth.
The immortality. Tooth!
Huh?
Let's go with the man's fingers.
I will let go.
You have been freed.
I have made new friend.
Oh, that's what you call it. Finger.
Who pulled my beard?
Touche.
Sir, knight. The woman who just walked out of this.
Well, she just
I
poked
should.
her head out of the bed. I don't think
She's got an interesting look to her.
Long red
She's
hair.
not-
Long red hair,
Yeah.
and it's got like ox horns.
Yes.
And
Okay.
if your character
see.
happens to know what Greeks look like, she looks Greek.
She must be a Viking.
I grab onto the horns.
Investigated.
So I'm going to have to ask you to let go of my horns.
Okay. Sorry, it's just,
I'm not going to too welcome a expression for my day if he grabs on.
What was that? I couldn't quite hear over Dominic.
What's that?
I couldn't quite hear over Dominic.
My apologies.
What you just said.
I said, sorry. Most times I see horns, they're on helmets.
Not these
What
horns.
language is everyone speaking?
Not these horns. No, these are actually attached to my head. You have you don't look like you're from around here. You kind of lost. What is it you're doing out here?
I don't really know. I mean, I just kind of showed up here. Maybe I was born here.
Okay.
Are you having any trouble communicating?
Good point. He doesn't have the stones.
Not with Rada. You'll notice that he immediately started speaking Latin.
Well, we just had a rather unfortunate encounter earlier today, and can't very well have you wandering about lost. She'll step out, and you'll see that Below the head is, the normal torso of a woman, but where the legs should be is, in fact, a horse body.
You have never seen anything like
I'm not. These are like fairy tales. My mom used to tell me about those. I didn't actually believe her though. Maybe it's because I'm in this weird place. I'm in the place where everything doesn't exist.
Welcome to the other world.
Am I dead?
Actually, good. That's what the other world is.
Pretty sure not. Though, I must admit, you are taking this rather much better than I would expect for a human.
Well, I don't really have much to say to that. I mean, the reason why I was in the 5th quadrant in my squad. Never make it to 4th. Oh, my manners. I haven't even introduced myself. The name is Sir Cymfrinscial. At your service.
Did you say circumference?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
I will spell it for you because it's not the way you expect it to be.
I
I'm gonna put it in the Meet the Crew.
Yeah, I would not expect it to.
Oh my.
Yes, sir, nice to meet you, Circumference. I am Rada Astrologos, Rada Stargazer.
Very nice to meet you.
And,
I'm Tooth.
yes, and the kindly gentleman that was biting your finger's tooth.
The gentleman who was biting your.
Oh, this tooth. How does that man-child grow such fine hair?
He is actually older than I am.
I appreciate the compliment. It took many years to grow this in one spell. Is there nest? I take very good care of it. I have a very strict regimen to make sure that it stays nice and neat.
I know my passive perception is low, and we've had a very trying day. But does Brina wake up for any of this? Like when Rada leaves the tent or leaves the hut or anything?
I'd have to get a perception from you, and I have
That's
to
what I was wondering.
yeah, from any of you. Honestly, it would have to be a perception.
I already
In
rolled a
this party,
perception and I
passive
got a
perception-
natural 1. Ern's done.
He just walked out after he told Tooth to go watch. A 5. Nope, still asleep.
Okay.
Dad's gonna get woken up eventually. It's fine.
Yeah, she's sleeping.
I think it's really funny though. In this party, a passive perception of 15 is kind of low. In the other party that I DM for, a passive perception of 15 means that you're like the best perception we've got, except maybe one.
Me, because
You have a 16
so basically in our family campaign, Arthur, my character is the passive perception queen
with a 16.
with a 16. Okay, thank you.
At this point, Rada will begin ritually casting Lehman's Tiny Hut because, well, she has the spell, so she knows if Tong didn't know he was coming, he's not getting in that hut.
Fair enough.
So, it takes 11 minutes, but when she is done, then you'll be surrounded by a basically a bubble.
You are not used to magic at all. Seeing this hut just appear around you is very disconcerting.
I think I need to do persuasion.
Yeah, I do have something that would make this a lot easier on you, but I think that might be a bit much for now.
So,
Hmm?
is that just like a daily chore that you could just, pull houses out of the sky and just kind of plop it? I'm worried about the foundation. I mean, you might crack it.
So how cold? Before Rada cast the hut, how cold was it?
How cold?
Yes, or how cold or warm was it?
Probably in the 60s.
Alright.
Pretty mild.
Alright, so inside the hut is a comfortable 70, like room temperature. This is something that I can do on the daily, yes. I should probably be getting back to sleep. Tooth it is your watch, no?
Yep.
You will be safe as long as you stay in the dome.
Okay. I'll hang out with the man-child.
And with that, Rada just like kneels down. Well, maybe just like plops herself down and probably looks pretty awkward because how do you sleep with horns? But it's like lies down, goes to sleep right where she was standing.
Excellent. Alright. So now it's just Tooth and Circumference.
They actually understand each other?
I can't remember. Tooth, do you speak Latin?
Let me double
And
check.
you don't speak his other language, his native tongue.
Pretty sure that Latin was an Amorata Hedea tongue.
Yeah.
Source.
No.
Yeah, I don't think.
No, you cannot understand each other.
Erden, do you speak Latin?
I don't think he does, but yeah. Latin's one of our better languages for communicating other than Fae, so
Makes sense.
I actually remember who speaks Latin.
Makes sense, considering who's been in charge for the past 400 years.
Yeah, so now that you two are kind of alone, and since Circumference doesn't have one of the fancy little things that allows you to speak to other people, if you try to talk to each other, it's like babbling and... Well, actually, okay, so you speak very similar languages, so imagine it's kind of like you know Spanish and Tooth knows Italian, and you can catch a few words and you're like... and so you can kind of get the gist of what the other one is saying, but it's not a perfect translation.
Right. I was gonna say the foreign language I have understood the best from my knowledge of Spanish was actually Italian.
Well, actually, it's probably less like Italian. It's like one of you speaks Spanish and one of you speaks Portuguese. Because Portuguese it's a Romance language, but it is weird compared to the rest of them. This one is speaking a very weird Celtic language that isn't really like the other ones, but it's close enough.
Another analogy you could use would be Finnish and Estonian, since apparently one sounds like the drunk version of another, but the other.
I mean, Danish kind of sounds like drunk French. And they're not the same language. Mm-mm. So yeah, if you guys want to try to talk to each other, it's going to be real interesting. It's like broken English.
Okay. So I kind of like sit down, just kind of like play with my hands a little bit and just be like, you are a small person. I've met somebody small before, but he was not like your size. You know, he was my little brother. He wasn't my brother, but always felt like he was.
You can take that as you will, Tooth. However you feel like translating over.
Tooth's just gonna
We
pat
kind of
his hand.
understanding it.
Just gonna pat his hand.
Thank you, small man. This might blossom into a great friendship. We will dance across this barren wasteland. Actually, is it barren?
No.
There's trees, there's grass.
Really,
just all-
everything's made out of crystal.
Yeah, it's all sparkly.
We will cross this sparkly world. Adventures, you and me. It'll be fun.
Tooth will just nod. It's like he's trying to speak to me. I just know it.
Say the first thing again. So the rest of your watch pretty much goes like that. When it comes to the end, you can go ahead and wake Idea. You're just like, stay.
Hey,
Oh, you want me to wait out here?
He'll give you a thumbs up.
He said, but I think I got it.
So I will go wake up Adea.
How do you wake up a dad? Dude.
He just starts poking her. Adea, 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 Adea.
Dea opens her eyes, sees that it's dark, and is like, it's too early for combat practice. And intends to go back to sleep.
No, Adea! Body slam with his little body.
Fine!
Yeah, I have made new friends.
New friend?
Yes, it's also your turn for watch.
Okay, fine. New friend? You're not George. What? Who should I be concerned about now? Or do I get to? Or do they like cool things? I can make them.
He has a lot of stuff on him that make him go jingle.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure if you mentioned weapons, it would get her attention more. Just a thought.
Oh yeah, he had 2 axes.
We could talk about that. That's very relevant. But who is this he?
Circumference, that's his name.
Or
That's what Rada told me. Because he speaks.
Can I glean anything about who this character might be by the name alone?
Well, the sir implies that he's got a knighthood.
Are there Fey Knights?
No.
Oh, a human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Human man. Oh, great. Okay. Thank you, too.
He was lost in the
Fine.
woods.
Medea will roll for her glamour before leaving for her watch.
I think it would be important to note for Adea that Rada is not in the hut.
Yes, it is not the.
Oh yeah,
Or
he's
not
seen
in
Rada
there.
without glamour. So
Medea prepares her glamour, which she rolled a 16 for, so, her minus a 17 and then -1, so she actually pulled her glamour off.
Nice. Good job.
She looks at Tooth and goes, "Where did Rada go?"
so Rada came outside when I was making friend. So and she talked to him and he saw her in all her centaur gloriness. So he knows what she looks like. He seemed shocked, but okay.
Well, this could be fun.
Yeah, I think
All
now that
right.
it's been pointed out, Idea might notice the additional hut that's been cast.
Yes.
Yes.
Hard to miss.
So Adea has glamored herself. She's kept the white hair, but she's made herself look a lot shorter, so she's looks closer to an average female height, probably, and has made her body less immediately just eye capturing. She hasn't made herself explicitly ugly, but she's once again trying to hide the natural Amazon beauty because she doesn't want to draw attention.
She's trying to make herself look plain.
Yes, exactly. She still looks very tan. She still kept the white hair, but she's definitely made herself look much more plain.
Sounds good.
Her Greek heritage probably shows through, and white hair is probably strange, or maybe makes her look old in a very refined way. I don't know. We'll see how our human feels about this.
Like that long way to look very.
Her face wouldn't look old, which is probably confusing, but
No, she looks like little queens that just like never seem to age. But the white hair gives them away. Like I know
Right.
exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go poke your head in the other hut then?
Well, a day has come out. It was Tooth and Circumference. Were they outside or?
No, they're in a tiny.
Okay. So,
You see two tiny cups.
if they weren't outside, then Adea's pretty sure that she looks around and is kind of confused about where the human went. It kind of just keeps an eye out for him while deciding she's probably supposed to be watching out here because she can't see anything inside the hut.
You can see through the hut. It's transparent from the inside.
Oh, it is transparent from the outside?
Okay, let me just pull up the spell.
Is it transparent from the inside looking out or the outside looking in? I think is where we're confused at the moment.
Tiny hut.
Let's see here.
The dome is opaque from the outside in any color you choose, but it is transparent from the inside.
So I cannot see into it.
No. He can probably see her outside.
Yes.
He's inside that tent. Rada made an extra tent. As to not freak out Tom.
So, yeah. Adea will, after kind of looking around and not knowing where the human went, will just decide to get to work to her favorite watch activities, which, are her favorite activities in general.
Working on the necklace?
The necklace is probably the work. She really needs to finish it so she can start working on these diamonds that she's gotten. Wasn't supposed to be super complicated.
You got some of the.
I picked up some of the. I don't think the grass. I decided it wasn't very good for cutting, but I think I picked up some leaves of some sort.
You want to give me a craft check?
Yes.
If you want the rolling thing, let me know.
15 plus my dex is a +1, and I have a proficiency both in crafting and the tools. For another +3 or +3 twice. I'm not quite sure. It's at least a 19.
It depends.
Yeah, it should just be. The 19 should be enough, and the 2 hours you have on watch to get it almost all the way done.
Almost done with the necklace. I've only been working on it forever. You just gotta put. It's supposed to be pretty simple because the end goal of it is to eventually throw it at something stupidly magical.
You going to sleep?
I think so.
Okay. All right, so by the end of your watch, nothing exciting has happened other than you've nearly finished this necklace. And it is Rhoda's turn to take watch.
Alright, so just to double check, each watch has been 2 hours, correct?
Yes.
And Raw is the 5th one.
Yeah.
Alright,
That allows everybody to have their 8 hours.
yeah, so with that being the case,
Rhoda's in the honey hut. What's her call?
well, Tong has gotten her 8 hours of rest, but that also means that her dome is also done. Seeing that the others are still asleep, she's going to recast the hut ritually, and Tong will just sit there thinking. Rhoda.
Okay.
I suppose that is at this point that Adea has to go and get Rada if she is not already awake from the previous.
Yeah.
Because Rhoda went back to sleep.
Yeah. So Adea will attempt to enter the hut. I presume she has been allowed into it.
Yeah, Rhoda just knew that she was going to be woken up at some point. She didn't necessarily know who was going to be before her.
Yeah.
So when you go in that hut, you'll see Rhoda asleep. Did Tooth go back in that one, or did Tooth stay in the other one?
He went back. He's in that one. He's with his clan.
And you will see that human man that he was talking about sleeping on his own bedroll.
Okay.
Probably curled up next to him because Tooth has decided this is his new friend.
Somehow.
Give me the image of Tooth basically being curled up next to him like a puppy.
So Adea with necklace in one hand goes fishing for her rock, then looks at the necklace, looks at the hut, looks at the rock she's about to cast light on, and is like, and looks at the necklace again and goes, and then sets it outside before
Yeah.
and then she decides to cast light on the rock inside of the hut in an attempt to wake Rada up.
Congratulations, today you finally remembered that thing has consequences.
I only spent 2 hours working on it and barely remembered. I'm kind of surprised I didn't ruin the hut by walking in. Probably more stable once it's cast, though.
Yeah, probably. So probably just you coming in with the light rock wakes her up.
Yeah, she casts the light inside.
Is it my turn for watch?
It is indeed your turn for the watch.
Anyone after me, or am I the last?
You are the last.
Alright.
Suppose I'm supposed to sleep a little longer. But the necklace is almost done.
Good. Perhaps then you will stop causing problems.
She has an anti-magic gem.
Adea looks at you and she goes, and she she's like, I don't cause that many. And she looks at the necklace and she's like, okay, the whole point of it is to cause problems, and it's pretty good at that, actually.
Yes, but in that case, you are causing problems on purpose. Those past incidents were on accident when you got careless.
You think I can find somewhere to put this thing where it doesn't cause problems on the regular, only when I want it to? I think something in the book.
I think you might need something like a lid box. I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, apart from iron, but I think we want to keep. I think you want to keep that wild magic.
Yeah, the iron might suck it out. I'd have to do more research on this.
You and Tonga smart. The two of you can figure it out. And I think Potter just like performs sentinel duty.
Alright. So nothing terribly exciting happens on your watch as you're doing your sentinel duty. Other than the sun pops back up all of a sudden. It was a very short night.
Dea will probably stay up because she's on a roll and will probably fall asleep over breakfast instead because that's less exciting.
You're just describing me with books, okay? I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, by the time that Rada's watch is coming to an end, some of you are probably starting to wake up. Some of the rest of you maybe not. Some of you have been wandering around a bit. It may take a bit for you.
Yeah. So for the people that are in Tong's hut, she's just been kind of like sitting there, like kind of like this. When you wake up, just staring blankly forward. Doesn't have Gosha up, but it's just sitting there quietly. For those of you that know what she's capable of, are probably a bit worried.
Like after Ern like removes the eye crust out of his eyes, it's like realizes, actually like takes one of his baguettes, breaks off a piece, and like actually just hands it to her and says, "Have you had breakfast yet?"
No, I haven't. You've all been asleep.
This is at least something.
She'll give it a side glance before taking it and eating.
Like Ern takes off his own piece and starts eating it, and then breaks off a slightly smaller one and waits for Brina to wake up.
Yeah, I've probably been kind of coming away this time. You probably see my face kind of light up as I see bread. I'm like, oh, there.
You can join them for breakfast.
It's a little
You're
stale.
very welcome.
Why is the bread stale?
It's a little bit light sensitive, so once it like pops back up.
He's had it for a while. It's so good.
Actually,
So while you guys are talking and having lunch, the new guy joins you. Most of you haven't met him yet and don't know he's there. So this human man just comes and sits with you guys and starts eating with you.
Oh no, Ern immediately pulls the bright hearth, points it at his face, and says, "Name, affiliation, and reason of travel."
If he does that, Brina's gonna go and stands directly in front of Tong.
Adea was probably working where he was sleeping for a little while.
Like, this is a normal sword. This sword is on fire.
Yeah,
Or at least appears to be.
yeah, this story.
So, I think perhaps first off
right?
we should
No, it did
describe.
not get the green
Oh.
from there.
I think we should perhaps first
Where's
describe
questions again?
the people he sees.
Yes.
So let's start with the person that pulled the sword out.
So yeah,
they're gonna describe themselves for you.
yeah, the guy who
First
pulls his sword on you
probably-
is 30-something, blonde hair, blue eyes, obviously Saxon, and probably the second most attractive person you'll ever meet. Like, you're pretty sure there's elfin going on there, but there's nothing completely obvious about it. It's like a iffy.
And we do have the two most attractive people that anybody's going to meet in the party, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes, Truth is very attractive.
Fucking too. So behind the one that had the sword pointed at you, you're gonna see another smaller person, but she's taller than the small man that you met before. She's about 3'6", long, light to medium brown hair with a very prominent braid through it, and she's holding like a dagger towards you. But it looks kind of weird. Like it looks like it's a naturally occurring thing instead of an actual blade. Yeah, and so like she's in just like kind of like a dress and leggings and has a little cloak over her, but it's like she's just like, and she's standing in front, like behind the guy holding the sword at you, but in between you and the character that's like sitting with her arms on her knees, kind of, well, and with a baguette in her hand. But yeah, so probably to you I look like a child but I'm taller than two. Like I got a good 1.6 on him.
Okay.
The last person you've never seen anyone like them because they come from the other side of the world.
Chinese.
Meta knowledge, she looks Chinese, but she also has like ears that kind of remind you of a fox and 4 fox-like tails. If you like go into the art channel, I just posted a picture of what she looks like.
Okay. And we'll have Dominic describe Dea, which you probably saw as you came from the tiny hut that Rada did to this one.
I mean, I did describe Adea earlier, and she hasn't dropped her glamour.
Good point. Never mind.
I don't know if she'll end up dropping it when she falls asleep over breakfast. I don't know how glamour works in that regard, but
she also looks confused.
Sort of what Brina looks like.
Oh yeah, in Meet the Crew you can kind of get an idea.
Have the yeah. The ones that so there's Erden with his mess.
Okay.
So he's the one pointing the sword at you. There's Brina. There's Rada.
Did you show him the one that I had sent you, or the one that your friend did?
The one that my friend did.
Okay, because her skin tone's not nearly that dark, but she does look more tanned.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't have one before. So Idea, who has not been described yet.
He described how his glamour.
Yes. We have not met him yet, but he's eventually. What you do? Where is Tooth?
Dude looks
Oh,
like
there's
Sarah
Tooth.
would've gone.
There's Tooth with his mouse.
Well, John.
This is all pitch.
Lunch lawyer.
Anyway, so then the last CJ is holding on. Are you holding up your glamour still?
Correct. So I
Cool.
don't think if nobody got me, I have not come out to breakfast. I have continued working on the necklace inside of Rada's hut.
Actually,
Gotcha.
about like with looking around and not seeing Idea, it's like, where's Idea? Like, new threat, where's Idea? I know Rada was on guard, but where's Idea?
You got a sword pointed at you. Okay, now you can.
Okay. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna like lean back in my chair, kind of like the whole, like my feet are planted on the ground, but like you move that sword any closer and I will fall off the chair backwards.
You probably
I will fall off of the log. And what were the questions asked at me?
Name, affiliation, reason of travel.
Okay, first off,
What language?
What language?
Oh yeah, what language?
Well-
Ern probably clocked like the pasty white and the blonde hair, so he's probably chosen. Honestly, probably. Well, he has Saxon, Brythonic, Kimry, and Angle to choose from, so probably Saxon. Start with that.
Okay. You don't know this language. You have heard this language,
Okay.
but it is very guttural and angry sounding, so it doesn't really know.
So
Okay,
you're also gonna
understand anything he's saying. I'm gonna be like, peaceful, peaceful. I know man-child. Is Tooth in the room?
Yeah, two sons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna like point at Tooth. I'm like, I'm friends with that.
Does anybody understand the language that he is speaking?
Are you panicking in your language or in Latin?
Probably Latin.
Okay, Latin.
Okay, so it sounds familiar to what I'm used to hearing others in our party speak, but when
Tom's the only one who understands at the table. Oh no!
so when I'm saying, when you hear my character speaking, it's gonna sound kind of this weird sparkly kind of language, because I'm speaking in Fae, because that's normally what I speak in with this party, because nobody understands my other language. And so you'll hear it's a shortened sentence, because all I'm asking is where's Idea, but you're gonna hear kind of this weird sparkly language from me, which
Okay.
you probably also will not understand because you're human.
So, in Saxon, well, Tom will first like shake her head and then say in Saxon to Ern, like, he knows Tooth, put your sword down. Apparently.
What do you mean he knows?
Yeah, that still doesn't explain absolutely anything.
You'll hear Rada from from nearby say, I don't know what you're saying, but he's friendly.
But we've got
He
the
just appeared last night.
everybody else is the stones, so
Like, he just appeared last night. That's not suspicious.
Like, you'll see Erwin lowering the sword a little bit, but he's like relaxed a little bit, but he still hasn't fully dropped it. It's like
So instead of
somewhat
being like
flat
on the,
and
it's more like maybe of like the base of your neck.
that's very reassuring.
Here now.
My voice is the one thing I could use to communicate with. I like to keep it. Por favor.
Did you just say he was a
What
bard?
the Saxon word you know? Please.
Oh, por favor.
Aaron just looks around at the rest of the group. Someone with Latin, please ask him those questions again.
Alright. Tong will then, like, in a more archaic form of Latin than you would be used to. She'll add.
So like Old English.
Okay.
Well, not Old English, because that's a terrible analogy.
That's untranslatable.
That's what I'm saying. When you're saying archaic, I'm giving him an idea of it's rather than you're speaking the English we are now, it'd be like speaking Old English at us.
Is it more like a Middle
More like
English?
Middle
He's
English,
Middle
probably.
English.
Shakespearean, King James English?
King James
I'm not
English.
talking about. I'm
King
not
James is a
talking about.
little late for that.
I'm not talking like Anglo-Saxon. I'm talking like medieval English,
That was Middle English.
where there was no. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Middle, Middle English is from the time of William the Conqueror up to, I think, like, mid-Renaissance.
Oh, I don't know. It's all old to me.
Basically, that Middle English where you can understand it, but it sounds weird. It sounds old. It doesn't sound like what you're used to. That's the gist that we're getting at.
Understandable
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, understandable enough.
Especially if you're educated in it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically what's happening is that Tong is speaking using classical Latin, while most people this day would be more used to vulgar or late Latin.
Okay.
But she repeats she translates the questions.
Okay.
3 questions.
So name,
Affiliation. Reason for travel.
reason for travel. Name is Circumference. I affiliate with my brothers to the north, the Caledonians. And I don't know how I got here. I just kind of showed up here. I was on mission, doing what anybody would do, protect your borderland, stuff like that. And then, poof, I'm here. And then I get lost because, I'm hiking out and there's lots of daylight and I'm like, this is fine. And then it just goes dark. And I can't see very good in the dark.
Well,
Kind of scary, actually.
So the sad
With
part
any
is
luck,
that,
because that's great.
I really hope Tom translates that.
so the sad part is that the pun isn't going to necessarily translate. The pun of a name is not going to translate.
I think it was less that and more just his description of why he's traveling.
Right. Airden can relate to don't see well in the dark.
Don't see well in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the entire party now understands, he's just a lost human.
He's from the human world who just happened
He's
to
a
get,
rescue.
who just so happened to get transported here, like you were telling the audience last night. How you got your weird instrument. And he's affiliated with his brothers to the north.
Did he specify the brothers to the north?
He did say Caledonians.
Okay.
But I'm asking Tong in her translation of what he had said if he specified.
Well, he said the word Caledonian, and everyone would probably recognize the specific word of Caledonia. So.
Okay. So Airden probably answered my questions like, wait, can remind me of the name? Remind me of the Caledonian prince's name that I was working with.
His name and title is Circumference.
Okay. Jen, what was the name of the Caledonian prince that was leading the sword training that I did that I was a part of?
It was
It starts with a U, I think.
his name because he's actually a real character. His name. Should not be this hard.
It was a while ago.
I know. The thing is he's an actual character from the King Arthur lore, so I should be able to. His name is Urian.
Prince Urian, thank you. I'm sitting here like, I know it starts with a U. So, upon hearing Caledonian, Brina's gonna say, like, wait, like Prince Urian? And it's because I don't know if the name would translate to circumference and if he would recognize it.
You probably would. Give me a history check to see if you know who Urian is. Nope.
Oh, no.
Wrong kingdom.
Okay.
He's rolling lots of twos for his history checks. He knows Jack.
They list history under intelligence, and we've already figured out that I'm not that smart. I
know
just
who
provide.
I'm working. I know who gives me orders. I don't know who he works for.
Well, it could be just another kingdom of Caledonia.
Also true.
Well, it is. It definitely is, which is why I had him roll a history check. Because if they were from the same kingdom, he would have to know who that was, or he'd be real dumb.
With the nat check, with the nat 2, I could be.
Well, maybe it'll work for us.
It's
Nothing is good.
been a while since I've been there. Might have been somebody new up there.
Oh man,
Yeah. Upon hearing all the explanation, and kind of like actually puts the sword away, it's like, okay, fine. Too early for this.
Brina will put away her dagger and she has like her dagger in one hand and her bread in the other because she was in the middle of breakfast. So she'll like put her dagger away and just kind of go back to munching on her bread and like sitting next to Tong again.
All right. Anything else this morning?
I'll look at Tooth. Where is Idea?
He's in Rada's hut working on the necklace still.
I mean, like, I'll look over at Tong and just kind of like see if she's doing okay. And it's like, okay, gotta go make sure that she gets something to eat. So I'll walk over towards Rada's. I'll walk out of Tong's hut and find Rada's hut. It's like, okay, Idea,
Dana?
food.
I suppose I should do that. But look, the necklace is almost done.
That's wonderful, but I think that you need food.
Oh, okay.
The human guy that just showed up.
Dave kind of looks at you and looks at herself, and she's like, "Yeah, I know."
Oh yeah.
Because you can see both the glamour and the non.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't mention yet though.
well, come get breakfast and you can meet him.
Yeah, Adea comes to breakfast and she acquires, I don't know what's for breakfast, other than bread, but basically as soon as she settles into the bread, you can like tell she's getting drowsy again and like falling asleep.
Tong.
Actually,
go first.
seeing Idea starting to fall asleep, Ern goes over to her. Here, try this. It'll wake you right up. And he uses completely raw cocoa powder. And just like just a couple taps from his container.
Today I just kind of trust him.
Idea, I want you to give me a constitution save. That's some strong stuff.
Plus
Well,
4.
the Megan needs to go to sleep,
Plus
so
4.
the Megan's going to go to sleep. Good night, y'all.
Nice.
Hi, Megan.
Well, your plus 4 brings up my straight 9 to a 13.
You kind of gag on it a little bit. That was not what you were expecting at all. It was very, very strong.
And then
But
just
you're
kind of
awake.
looks at Aaron and I'm like, I've done lots of nice things for you. Are you trying to poison me?
I would never knowingly poison you. I'm just trying to wake you up. It actually works pretty well, doesn't it? You're awake, right?
Sure. And she goes back to eating the bread, but a bite or two later, she's just like falling asleep.
That's irrecoverable then.
It's as interesting as working on necklaces.
You've never seen cocoa powder before.
I have, like, my character hasn't.
No, your character hasn't, because cocoa powder comes from the New World.
Huh.
So
That
he's
thing's
probably
brown.
looking at it thinking that it is poison.
Brown.
I think it went bad, guys. I mean, most flour is supposed to be white.
I don't.
Nah, it's not flour.
I don't.
It's an interesting scent to it, too.
Smells like it went too.
So, Rita's just going to. Let's see here.
Would Ern have any familiarity with what he's saying?
So,
Yeah, so it's the same thing like with Tooth, because you know Brythonic. And so you also know Merida. Merida has a very, very strong brogue that sounds very similar to him. His is still slightly different than hers. But she would use her own language every now and then, and it was close enough to Brythonic that you could pick out most of what she was saying. His sounds a little more archaic than hers, but it's very similar. So you can pick out several words if he switches to his language.
Okay.
honestly, Brina's to the point where she's watching Circumference as he's like looking over at Idea with her bread and the cocoa powder on it, and looking at Aaron, and I'm just like, forget it. She goes over, just kind of like taps him on the shoulder and casts tongues so that he can actually understand us and we can understand him.
It's going to be very weird for you because, again, you're not used to magic, and now suddenly you can understand everyone. The conversation suddenly all makes sense, and you're like, huh.
I kind of grabbed my ear.
And I'm pretty I'll just pat you on the shoulder. It's like, trust me, it's a lot easier to understand when we can understand you and you can understand us. We're lucky. We have stones that help us, but don't poke me. What are you doing?
I think I need to get my ears changed.
No, that was me. You're fine. You're just able to understand us now. And we can understand you.
I think I need some of that brown powder now.
Not for the faint of heart. I'm not surprised Idea reacted like that. I can't even do straight cocoa powder. I'm used to it.
So an effort
At this
to,
point, Idea is probably actually falling asleep.
so an effort to not pay attention to the guy that's speaking two languages to her at the same time. Tong is, for pretty much everyone's benefit, she looks like she's just staring intently at Tooth. But what she's doing is she's psychically telling him that when they're in a safe location, she has something that she needs to tell him.
To tell Tooth?
Yes.
Okay.
Is Adea's glamour able to be maintained while she's asleep, or does it drop when she finally falls asleep?
Or sorry, what was that?
Is Adea's glamour able to be maintained while she is asleep, or does it drop when she falls asleep?
No, it you have to be conscious. So if you do pass out, it drops.
Fair enough. So yeah, Adea falls asleep in her, not full rest, and it becomes apparent that her her true form actually becomes apparent to our new, very befuddled human acquaintance. Yes. So Adea is not the 5'2" plain but intriguing woman that you saw. She's actually 6'2", with skin the color of fired clay. The white hair were all real, but she is an Amazon, and the beauty of the Amazons does show through.
So basically, you have Airden, who's one of the probably the second most prettiest person that you're going to meet. Then you have Edan, who's probably the prettiest person in our party.
There's got to be a good soundtrack to that.
And before I leave, Sean, before I leave your character, I'm just going to say, by the way, I'm Brina. And then I'll probably walk back over to where, I don't know, probably sit down next to Edea and try and help her not get a crick in her neck because she's sleeping. Like sitting up, sleeping.
Yep.
At this point, Rada will come over, see Ade is sleeping, just... I told her to go back to bed.
You're working on her necklace. What do you expect, Rada? Oh, by the way, I cast tongues on him so he can understand us.
I heard.
Oh. Good job. Okay.
I hear it all.
Good point. Sorry, Rada.
Alright, so... I think our first order of business is to get somewhere where we are not likely to be attacked by the local wildlife.
I would agree to that.
So let us continue along the road until we find some form of civilization. At that point, we can figure out what we want to do. I don't know if we want to return to the Kimri camp, or if we want to, I don't know, since we're in the other world, try a third time for the Library of Alexandria.
I vote the library.
Unfortunately, Adea has fallen asleep so that she can't express that she really wants to go to the forges of the locals.
I was gonna say, I'll kind of like shake Edea. It's like, yeah, we're making decisions.
Do you need to make decisions with me?
Yes, because we need your opinion.
What opinion do you need?
Where we're going next, because Rada made a point that we should probably get out of the open so we don't encounter any more wildlife. But since we're in the other world, she also we could either try and get back to the Kimry camp, or we can try once again for the Library of Alexandria.
Adea's already starting to settle back down, but she's like, I thought we were going to the Forges of Legend. That sounded cool.
I'm for at least finding civilization to see if they might have an idea of a portal back to Londinium. Regardless, I think we should probably send a message to Everest just to let him know that we are no longer in Londinium. At least that.
I'll take care of that when we're on the road. Or if we want to send...
Adea hears then, she's like, that sounds like a great way to let me finish my power nap.
Alternatively, if we want to inform Emerson directly, Tom, you're more familiar with him. Well, at least you have more, I guess, but sympathy? The two of you seem to have an understanding of something.
The onions.
Because I had Thunderclap scouting out all of yesterday, did he just stumble upon civilization at some point in the night?
Oh yeah, I forgot we had Thunderclap with us.
Good question. High or low?
Hi.
Hopefully he didn't stumble across another toad.
He got distracted. He was making some progress, and then he ran into a raven who had a message, but he could not find the person who had sent him to give the message to. It had something to do with Saxons, and he was very confused.
Oh dear goodness. Are you sure it wasn't a wolf?
Well, it was a raven.
No. The message wasn't about a wolf.
No, it wasn't about a wolf. I mean, it could have been. The raven's very disoriented right now. And Thunderclap doesn't really speak Raven. He's trying to figure out, he's getting the mad ravings of a blackbird that doesn't belong here.
Yeah, probably like Thunderclap was trying to ignore him the whole time and just couldn't pay attention to anything important. Just slowly circling back to the group.
I mean, technically that was
Bird, shut up. So yeah, Thunderclap will come back to the group at that point with the bird.
Oh, Lord Jesus. What?
If Thunderclap didn't find anything, then he'll circle back to the group. I guess if the bird's with him, he'll bring it.
Oh yeah. That's how you figure it out. He didn't get very far. He's just like... and this bird's just like... Well, that's not right. It's more of a... very deep.
I think as soon as Brina spots the raven, can I understand what the raven's saying?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the raven saying?
Nevermore.
Yeah.
He's talking about Saxons, and he had to deliver a message, but he got lost, and he doesn't know how to get back to this George fellow.
Oh, good goodness. I'm going to just...
Brina adopts another animal temporarily.
Brina,
I'm just gonna stand up and say, come here, and just like hold out my little arm. It's like, hopefully the raven lands on my arm. It's like, you said you were lost trying to find the Saxons, right?
Raven's like half your size, so he's gonna land on the ground next to you, because if he tries to land on you, you're gonna fall over.
Good point.
Ravens are very big.
I'm 3'6" though.
Like, and ravens are like long.
Oh,
on the small side. Yeah. Ravens are big.
So the raven's on the ground in front of me then.
Yeah. You don't realize how big birds can get until you see them.
The number of times I've mistaken a raven for a hawk when the lighting is not right. Right, John?
Sometimes.
Yeah. You're not expecting them to be that large. You're taken off guard.
But yeah, it really depends on location. Like, the ones in Oregon, they're kind of like, yeah, they're big. And then you go to freaking Yellowstone, and you're like, what the heck?
It's a freaking eagle. I don't know what they're eating out there, but
Yeah, the ones in Colorado are really big too.
Speaking of Yellowstone, I was going through some old photos and trying to upload them, and I found one where you and Kelly fell asleep in the back of the car in Yellowstone.
That one. Okay, so the raven's on the ground in front of me, and I'm just asking him, it's like, okay, so you're lost, and you were trying to find someone to tell about the Saxons. Do you remember who it was you were trying to tell?
George.
George? You were telling George about the Saxons. You sure
Yes.
you weren't telling him about a wolf?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Big fire, though. Big fire.
Yes, okay. So, we're friends of George. So, you can just be calm now. If that fire is past, you're good. I don't quite know how you got here, but I'm just kind of look at them. It's like, oh, my brother was right. You're welcome to stay with us for right now. Just, we'll try and help you get home.
Ida, did you? No, not Ida. Brina, did you just adopt another animal?
Don't tell Ren. Never hear the end of it if you tell my brother.
The raven's just gonna nod, like, okay.
I'm gonna like try and like maybe pat down his feathers just a little bit, like very gently. It's just like it's okay.
And as long as that raven is with the party, Gausha is not coming out.
Okay.
Rolls are the issue, not ravens.
Same family.
I mean, I guess Gausha probably can't tell the difference, but
No, since he has the intelligence of an owl.
I actually watched a video today where someone was talking about how pros and owls basically commit hate crimes on each other on a daily basis.
Yep. And I've seen it.
I haven't, but I know Dad saw a bald eagle take out its rage on an owl once.
Well, it depends on who tells you that story. Because
both Dad and Grandpa.
yeah, and that's the thing, is that they tell it differently.
They didn't tell me differently.
Oh yeah, well, so Dad tells it, oh, it was a bald eagle and a great horned owl. Grandpa swears by it. I confronted Dad about it, and I said, you just stole that story off of Grandpa. And he's like, no, I was in the truck with them.
Love that.
But like, he said it in such a way that was like, dude, you totally got that story from your dad.
I think I'd heard it from Uncle Mike too. I think the two were in the back.
Yeah, possibly.
Either way, the owl was pestering the eagle. The eagle got fed up and grabbed it and threw it to the ground. Threw it.
No.
This thing. Take it. Don't start.
Oh, wait. Before we move on, I'm gonna ask the crow his name. I have a feeling that I've met this crow before because obviously it's met George, but I'm trying to remember which crow this is.
It was. Did I write their names down? No.
I know one of the ravens had or shared a name.
I thought they were named after.
One of
Yeah, they were.
Odin's.
I think they were named after Odin's.
They did Odin's ravens names. I just don't have them written down. Hold on.
Thunderclap looks down at Brina and just says, "Thank you for getting rid of this incessant noise."
Munin.
Say it again?
Munin. I'll write it down.
Okay. You're welcome, Thunderclap. He was
Put it in
just
roleplay.
trying to do what he was supposed to do, but he's obviously not home.
Oh, sorry, I did it backwards.
2 ends at the end?
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. I'll look over to Sir Cymfrinscial as he's probably watching me talk to these animals like I'm a nutcase. It's like, I know you don't understand them. The spell's still working. It just doesn't work for them because they're animals. But I understand them. Just it's part of what my people do. Just roll with it. Ask questions if you want.
Probably knowing my intelligence level, I'm probably going to have a reaction like, when I was a child, I used to think I could talk to the squirrels that came by the house, the castle. I didn't think they could actually talk back, though.
Both are chatty as heck. Of course they talk back. Have you talked to a red squirrel?
Well, I mean, like, it would chirp, do that. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, squeak, 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 squeak.
Squeak,
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 squeak.
squeak, squeak. Yeah, no. Squirrel. Very chatty.
So it thinks like it thinks like we do.
Of course they do.
You know, Thunderclap is like shaking his head in the background.
Horse is like, no.
Does Brina notice him shaking his head?
No, he's behind her.
Ugh.
This place is getting stranger by the day.
And it will only continue to get stranger.
Hey, at least you didn't have to deal with the toad.
I'm scared of toads.
The toad had Rada in his mouth.
The ones I saw had water.
Are we ready to get going?
Yes.
Yes.
Idea, wake up.
Actually, no. Erden picks up Idea, just tosses her onto Thunderclap.
Adea does not react very well to getting picked up, actually. Like, Rada tried to wake her up and she was like, do I have to? But as soon as Erden picks her up, she is awake and she is like halfway to drawing her dagger and she's like, don't touch me. And then she kind of realizes that he didn't mean anything untoward, but she's kind of now awkwardly stuck here threatening Erden with her death.
So, do you not want to lay on the horse for the next few hours and nap?
No, if I was still asleep, I'd take you up on that, but I'm definitely awake now.
Oh, good. And Ern just unceremoniously stops. Like, yep.
Tooth.
And we said chivalry was dead. We just did.
Tooth, Brina. Up. Right.
Yep.
Alright.
I have an image in my head of Rada like putting her hand down, Brina like grasping it, you just kind of like helping swing me up onto the back of you, and then like doing the same for Tooth. They said Erden probably like helps pick. Actually, I think Tooth would probably be picked up by Erden. Like Brina and Rada probably have this mounting thing down to a science, and somehow I feel like Tooth hasn't gotten it because of the height difference, because he's so much shorter.
Okay.
I don't know. This is my own personal opinion.
I'm sure if we practiced, you could mount Rada as she's like in full charge, like Legolas.
I'm not sure if I can do that because I'm too short, but
That'd be pretty cool.
that'd be freaking awesome. Are you kidding me?
Alright, so you get going. Munan's gonna take the air. He's gonna look at you, Brina, and just, we're going.
Where are we going again?
Wherever the
Are we looking for civilization? Did we decide where we're going? Muner wants to know.
Ern swings around his banjo and says, "We're on the road again."
Dude, that's a classic.
Did you know it?
What did you say?
The lyrics wrong.
Got the lyrics wrong. Wrong language.
Sorry, but I can't understand what you're saying.
He's playing a very weird instrument because banjos don't exist yet. You're like, that's the weirdest looking lute I've ever seen and heard. Twanging. I actually work with somebody who plays banjo. It was pretty awesome. We were playing dueling banjos today.
We are looking for wherever there is a village or town.
I'll relay this to Munin and ask him if he would mind keeping an eye out for us.
I saw a village. Big village.
Saw
Big
a
shiny village. Shiny rock village. With shiny rock people.
Shiny rust people?
I just heard that, right?
No, you're hearing. That's what you're hearing. She speaks animal. You don't.
Okay.
Shiny what people?
Rock.
Shiny rock people?
Yes.
Okay, so Munin's seen a big shiny rock village with a shiny rock people. Considering the arm that Airden was looking at yesterday, that tracks. Which direction, Munin?
This way. And he kind of like takes the lead and starts flying off down the path.
Oh, we can follow him.
For purposes of marching order, Rod is going to be front. Tong will be in the middle somewhere.
And
Alright.
Thunderclap, once he sees the raven leave, he's like, "Oh no, come back! I definitely missed your existence."
Yeah,
Brandon's just gonna snort from behind, from where she's sitting and brought us back.
Who's
Having
after?
understood.
Oh no,
What?
so Tooth and Brina are on Rod, right?
Yes.
Yep, we're both riding Rada, just like normal. Well, normal for me. It's become more normal for Tooth.
It's become a necessity for Tooth.
That is a very good way to put that. It has become a necessity for Tooth.
Okay, so after Rada, Brina, Tooth.
Arden and Thunderclap.
Okay,
Tong.
Long.
Dave stumbling along the back.
I guess. I suspect that Adea is not doing a great job of actually keeping a marching order. She's plenty distractible and probably runs up ahead because she sees cool things and then falls behind and then crunches back up. And
Wait, I think that actually puts circumference at the back.
Good point.
Wait up! My legs are short. No, they aren't. But
Honestly, if you yell that out, they're probably going to turn around and look at you and just kind of like, really?
You know, now that we don't have Henry with us, Rod is the tallest now.
Mm-hmm.
how tall is Rada?
6'7"?
Okay.
Idea would be next tallest.
Yeah. Adea is 6'2". But
She's
Adea
Yeah.
is before an Amazon.
Okay, cool. So, with Munin leading the way, soaring and having a good little time on the thermals and all of this, it doesn't take very long before the road finally opens up into this meadow. The trees have lessened, and suddenly you come face to face with a very large boat.
yeah, it's like that was mine for a moment. I didn't
So it's like
set an alarm like that.
I'm guessing an alarm went off.
Oh.
Since he's...
Yes. Oh, I did. It's in my thumb drive that I have not plugged in yet.
I'm gonna say, Rada, did you contact Emirates?
Oh yeah.
If it so, do we want to have it directly to Emrys or one of the kings? Because that will dictate who uses the spell slot.
That's a good point. Emrys was the last person we had contact with, but at the same time, the kings were the ones that sent us out on the mission, so maybe Uther would be better? Or we could just send it to Amor.
I actually had that thought. I was like, why don't I just send it to Amror?
Yeah, like if I had send it, I'd probably send it to Amor because I'm like,
Not have sent it.
I have message.
That's too short.
Exactly. Oh, I knew it was too short. I was just saying that I have message instead of sending. But I might recommend Amor actually, because my thing is logic. This is also me kind of stepping back from role playing for a minute, but logically, reason being, if we tell Emrys, will he actually tell anyone else? Not necessarily because it's Emrys.
So I just
be better, but
in the ancient magical, if you click on that, that is what you guys are seeing. Something very similar to that.
wow,
Yeah.
that's gorgeous.
So for your benefit, so you can see it.
So that is what we call
Diamond Palace with a moat and everything around it. You can hear water falling, and it looks like it might be sitting on the edge of a cliff, and that the water from the moat is actually going down the sides of the cliff. So this probably has some sort of source that keeps it flowing, since it's, falling over a cliff. There are soldiers near a drawbridge that goes over it. And they... Whoop. Looks something like this. Imagine that it's diamond and there's no metal in their... There's no metal to their armor. It's all diamond.
So basically, I want sunglasses because the sun is out and it's going to hit that and we're going to be blinded.
It's very sparkly.
Erden loves this. He can see it great. He can see every facet. And
Dea is also probably thrilled, but also probably remembers that she has to behave herself a little bit better now. What do I know about the locals?
I don't know. What do you know about the locals? I'll have to give me a history check to see if you know anything about them.
Knew about the place real well, but that doesn't mean I knew much about the locals. About a 26.
26?
I have +8 to history.
Damn.
Dea has godly stats, let's be honest.
Yeah, description of. Okay. So, so what do you know? So you know that they can live roughly 250 years. So they're a fairly long-lived race.
Very similar to the Amazons then.
Yeah. They they don't necessarily need to sleep as much as other people. They tend to meditate instead. They're very hard to charm. It's very hard to win them over. They can see
Anything
through a
about
lot.
basic cultural expectations?
Yeah, so like if trying to like do business with them, you have to be very forward, and they don't like to do the whole like car salesman deal. You can't be a car salesman on them. They don't like that.
No psychic paper. No forgeries. Good luck.
Yeah, you
This
try the
is-
psychic, and they're gonna be like, I don't think so. You also know that they have a very strong connection to plants and water, and that they can communicate to both as though basically the same way that Brina talks to animals. And so they really they have that strong affinity, and they almost have a religious connotation in them. So you don't go chopping trees down in front of them. That's a bad idea. And you certainly do not want to spoil their water, or they may come after you.
Guys, I have a great idea. Let's start
Supply my own water for
Let's start a lumber mill here.
Prestidigitation.
No.
And really don't like humans.
Oh no.
They're often the ones that create changelings. Like Amror.
And
Or George. Mm-hmm.
or Harold. But no, Harold was half dwarf.
Yeah. So anyone who's even part human, they're gonna have a problem with.
So they're
You'll
going
also
to not
be
be
aware
happy
that
with
they have stiff competition with the elves because they think they are the better race than the elves.
We have a beauty competition going down.
We're gonna have a beauty
Man,
pageant in
our
our
normal face is the worst person we could offer.
The Amazon, the elf, and the silver people of the lake.
You also know that they are led by someone called the Fisher King. You're not sure why he's called that. So if you live by the ocean, maybe you go fishing a lot, who knows? But nobody has seen this Fisher King in a long time, so you're not actually sure if he exists or if he's just made up to scare people away from their homeland.
Please be a myth. Please be a myth.
Definitely
Offended to
not a
send
myth.
Chris. No. Yes.
And I'm going to say with that 26,
Yeah.
you also know from a religious standpoint that there are stories that the fairies were created by a god named Iran to punish the humans for worshipping the horn god Cernunnos instead of him as their death deity. And that he is the one who created the wild hunt.
Ooh.
what was the name of the god again?
Aran. Arawn.
Mm-hmm.
Although we've lost most of our people who have the biggest beef with that guy and his hunt.
True, but we also just picked up another stray human.
Okay, where's that quote?
Thanks. He's a rescue.
The
There's
only
a-
commentary that I want to make. The only commentary that I want to make in this instance is keep that name in mind in case you ask about a certain person's patron in the IPI campaign.
Aran?
They might
Aran
have
or
the same
Sir-
name. Aran.
Adea kind of looks around at the human, and she's also like taking in all of the natural beauty of it as she kind of remembers these things. The good news is that Adea is not much of a salesperson, so being forward is actually one of her strengths, despite her many gifts of forging. She's kind of looking around, taking all of it in, and she's like half distracted, like she's thinking about maybe doing something else, but she kind of looks at Brina and Rada and Tong and is kind of like, maybe we should hide him or his face or something. They don't, they're very mean to humans, basically.
Oh, great.
Um,
Rada, suggestions on what to do with our new human?
That's assuming they don't decide to hunt him.
I'd very much not like to be.
You're not. Wait, are these the same wildland people that Thor's?
Created by the guy who created them. We're close. Related.
Hey, okay.
Also, Adea has no clue, so sources. So now that I think about it, I don't know who you're talking about, but yeah, probably.
No, that's probably exactly it. Yes.
Great. Okay. So we're trying to get to a city full of Fae that don't like humans, rather hunt them. And we have Erden, who's half human. Wait, right? Yes. Half elf, right?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
And then we have our new human. I don't think they're gonna care that he's a strength. Okay. Oh, that means that they probably don't like people asking their names either. Ideas?
now let you guys think about those ideas. We're gonna stop for now because I don't want to go too late.
Yeah.
If only you could send an image via sending.
Yeah. So before I forget, Mary and Dominic were going to remind me of sending. So
Mhm.
I will take the suggestion of having Rada cast sending and using it, or having the recipient be Amror.
Okay.
Alright, so forced to flee Londinium in the other world. White lady present. Mission status unknown. Vortigern remarried.
It is sent. Amror, you receive a message from Rada.
Ding.
I will communicate the news. Don't lose your memories. Don't get hunted.
And that's it. Don't lose your memories. Don't get it. All right. Good job, guys. So how do we like circumference?
Well, I wasn't
Don't be
expecting. I wasn't expecting a new PC.
I wasn't either,
It's
but
been
like
for a long time, but
I'm like, oh wait, we're getting another player character. Okay.
it just kept getting forgotten. So I was like, no, hop on board.
Let's see how long this one lasts.
2 weeks.
I'm getting you a Discord, Adam.
I would say that's not meant to be a threat, Sean. That's just that we had other people join and then drop off. So
This campaign at many points was so large, it has been and was large enough to be run by 2 DMs.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Wow.
And now this is the current group, or the current mainstays of the group.
We
Yeah.
settled into a very solid core at this point.
Yeah.
There we go. Core party. This is the core group.
And by the way, Sean, just so that if he's listening, I don't know. But so Sean, just to help hopefully clear up confusion, Arthur and Dominic are both playing 2 characters. So Tong and Rada are both Arthur's characters, and then Amber and Idea are Dominic's characters. So if you're not quite, they try and like Arthur changes up the voices, and Amber is not with us, so you won't have to worry about that one very often.
Yeah, he's semi-retired.
He's semi-retired, so. But that was who received Rada's message, so you got to hear him. You have to understand his response, and that's probably about as much as you'll see of him.
And while Arthur's good with the voices, my characters have different personalities.
Yeah,
Amber is much more centered and strategic.
Idea.
Idea is bubbly.
and easily distracted by
Easily distractible, and also
Forge projects.
ADHD.
can be short-tempered when she doesn't get to do what she wants.